Hello friends, now let's start with our lab programs from Python, which is a part of our lab programs. So the first programs in our list is to find a sum to all the elements from n1 to n2, where n1 and n2 are both positive integers. So we can make use of the positive integers, or else we can make use of even the negative integers. So first let's try to work out with the positive integers. So here what we are trying to do here is first thing we are trying to read a number from the input function. So we read the input function and we use the enter the first number as a user output. So as soon as the user enters the input, then the input function reads the variable, and this is in turn converted to the variable called as integer, that is typecasted to integer. Then later on it is saved into number 1. Similarly the number 2 is also read. Then here we are saying one if condition. If num1 is less than 0 or num2 is less than 0, because we need to read only the positive integers. So if they are positive integers only, then we are going to execute our program, otherwise we are not going to execute the program. So the condition is that we are reading only positive integers. So in that case we need to check for the value of num1 as well as num2 to be less than 0, right? So we can use both of the values to be less than 0. So here we can use AND or gate, AND gate or the OR gate. So here we are making use of the OR gate. Instead of that we can use AND gate also. So if I use AND gate, then it will be correct. Why? Because if I make use of the OR, then if either of them is negative number, then we cannot say whether it is correct or not, right? Then the next thing what I will do is I will just go through the inside of this number. Then in the inside of this number, in the inside of this particular if condition, we check for whether the first number is greater than the second number. If the first number is greater than the second number, then we are going to say that the first number cannot be greater than the second. So the first number must be always the smaller one, because we are going to make use of the incrementing of the looping construct, right? Then next what I will do is I will be just making use of the else part, because both the conditions have been satisfied. Here the number is not negative and the number 1 is less than num2. Number 1 is less than num2 because this condition is failed. So I will be just continuing with my calculation. So first I will make use of a temporary variable called as temporary variable temp. Then assign the value of num1 to temp and initialize the value of sum1 to 0. Then I will make use of a while loop and make use of a temp variable, wherein the temp variable will be always less than or equal to num2, because I want to run the construct from n1 to n2, that is num1 to num2, whereas temp is already having the value of num1. So what I will do is I will be just making use of sum equals to sum1 plus temp, and I will be incrementing the value of for temp till it reaches the value of num2. So in this way we will be going to make use of all the values and sum them to the variable called as sum1. So let me add one more else condition here, so that when I am using the else condition, I will be printing print enter the positive values. So if I say this, then our code will be perfectly correct, because what happens is if the value is num1 and less than 0 and num2 less than 0, only then I will be having this executed, otherwise I will not be having any output. So for that reason I will just say the user that enter the positive values, right? Now let's run this program and see what exactly happens. So if I run this, then we can see that the user is being asked with enter the first number. So I will enter the first number as 5, then press enter. It will ask for the second number, then I will just add, so let us say some number about 15, then I will see So enter the positive values. Why it is giving enter the positive values? Let me check what is the error. Num1 is less than 0, num2 is less than 0. So I need to change the values here to greater than, because I need to execute this, right? Yeah, I need to execute this values. If both are greater than 0, only then I need to work. So let me run this again. It's better to have errors in our program so that we will be able to understand the program very well. So I will just enter the same values 5 and 15. Now we can see the value of sum1 is nothing but it is 110, right? So let me make use of one more input where I try to give the minus values. I will give -5 and I will give -2. So it is asking for enter the positive values. Similarly, I will just make use of one more run wherein I will try to give the value, first value, which is greater than the second value. So I will give 8 and I will give 5. See, we are getting first number cannot be greater than the second. So all the conditions of this particular statement have been satisfied, and hence this program is working well and good. Okay, thank you very much.